Brandon Mortensen here at the PNC Digital Desk, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. O's win, here's the skipper.
To have an offense that could small ball the way it did for that first run and then go back to back.
Well, I don't know if it was an offense. It was Mav. You know, Mav there. He gets on first base, draws a tough walk right there against Wu. Wu's a heck of an arm. So he gets on first base. There's a line drive hit by Jackson. Doesn't get doubled off. Makes a good baseball play. Stays at first base. Gets to second base. However he did, I'm trying to remember how he got there. But then he tags on the one out fly ball, and then he's on third base. Ball gets by, gives us a point, kind of takes some pressure off the dugout a little bit. First one to score, and gave us a chance.
This season, the stars of this team haven't always performed at the highest level, but to have Gunnar and Adley do that in that big of a spot, what does that mean going forward, and obviously today?
Well, I'll start on Adley. Adley's looked really good here for a while. We keep talking about it. Go back to Anaheim series, minus a couple games against the White Sox. So he's really trending in the direction that we saw today. So, he hammered that ball to center field earlier in the game as well. Hit the ball hard as a right-handed hitter later in the game. So it's starting to kind of all come together. I think he's catching great, too. So good. Gunnar, to me, right now, Gunnar is playing of the Gold Glove variety shortstop for me. He's been really good since the first couple weeks of when he came back. It's funny, you look up at the scoreboard and kind of where he's at with his numbers, and, there's a feeling of, like, what's wrong with God? But then as it kind of goes on and you look up, like, he's actually doing just fine. He's doing great. He's probably about 2 weeks away from kind of putting himself in the MVP kind of ballot area. So he's doing fine. He's going to get going. It reminds me a little bit of 23 with him, a little bit of a slower April and May, and he's starting to heat up a little bit, just like then.
When you took over a few weeks ago, you said that you wanted to see, you guys knock a bunch of games, get within maybe 10 games of 500, and all of a sudden you're 11 games under 500. Are you starting to feel that there's something going on?
I don't feel like we've ever not felt that. As crazy as it sounds, even when we got to 18 games or whatever, I think just because of the point of the calendar where we're at so early in the year, there's hope, right? And you kind of need one of these streaks to, maybe solidify that a little bit. But, yeah, you roll off 6 in a row and you come into Seattle and beat a heck of a team, a first-place team. Just a little bit more hope, which we'll definitely take.
What's it say about these guys that after Raleigh does hit that go-ahead homer, that they don't hang their heads and that they come out and work the at-bats they did immediately after that next half inning?
Yeah, this group's won a lot of games in the last 2 years. So, you don't win that many games if you're a quitter. So these guys haven't quit. They didn't quit earlier in the year. They kept competing. It just didn't go our way. So they're continuing to do what they've done all year. And, today it was nice to get the sweep and battle back the way that they did against good pitching. And, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not, because we've seen it for a couple years.
Were you impressed to see Zach Eflin come back after that home run with the shutdown 6th?
Yeah, and it looked like a cutter that he's trying to get in a little bit and kind of left it over the plate against Cal Raleigh, who's been doing that to everybody all year. So, you're kind of in a weird predicament there in the 5th inning. It's, you don't want to be careful with Cal, but you can't. You're just kind of caught, it's still early in the game. You don't want multiple guys on base. And, F's been in this league for a long time, and, he gives up the home run. And, no, we're not surprised that he came back and battled back. That's kind of what he's done his whole career. So, pretty clean 6 and got us into the 7th.
That's all here from the PNC Digital Desk, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.